And when we're in these like narcissistic relationships or in these relationships with people who are narcissistic, we don't actually recognize that we're abandoning ourselves each step of the way by allowing their behaviors, right? And the influence of their behaviors on our lives.
Oh, I abandoned so much sense of self and identity over those two
Right.
years.
Where are some places in that relationship that you felt you abandoned yourself, like, and you shouldn't have?
Oh, I let go of some of like two of my best friends because of his manipulation that was slow over time. It came from an idea of the activities we were in. He was rock climbing. It was something I had an interest in. I took that up. I didn't realize I was abandoning anything to do that, but I took on biking and other things that I would have in the beginning when things were still sunshiny and fine, new interests and activities, and I was learning and I was growing. But his words toward it was like, we're taking the time to do these things. We live life in a certain way. We don't live for the weekend. We do these activities. Your friends aren't living life to the fullest the way that we are. So
Mm.
it's not a good use of your time to be spending time with them. And it was
Wow.
a slow fall into isolation for me, which ultimately gave him more control over our relationship.
Wow. So he, in essence, was like, like he may not even have realized he was doing it, if we're being really honest. And I think sometimes we hate on narcissists a lot, but we also have to recognize the same way we were unconsciously abandoning ourselves, they are unconsciously manipulating, not knowing why they need to manipulate so much, just that it feels so good to do that. So he would like manipulate you into wanting to spend less and less time with your friends. Now, I want to ask you if you can understand, why would he want you to kind of cut out your friends? Your friends who may have chosen differently than what he wanted. Why was he trying to get you to cut them out rather than them to exist and give you a different perspective?
Ultimately, I think it was because of control, but I don't know if he would have been conscious of that.
No, no, it's not that he was conscious, but why do you think he would have done it? Why do you think his ego may have wanted that to happen?
Just to control the situation and to dictate exactly how everything would go.
Okay. What do you mean when you say like control that situation?
If he was in charge of all of our activities,
Mm,
it was predictable. He knew what was going to happen if he was the one leading everything.
right. So in essence, wouldn't you say that he felt unsafe or threatened if you wanted to do other things, or if there are other people who wanted to do other things that you'd enjoy with them that he may not like, and he felt threatened by that. So the best way to make sure that nobody's doing things he didn't want to do or things he may not like is to slowly convince you to cut them out, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what's really interesting, I want to distinguish in this particular situation of someone who draws strong boundaries and someone who convinces you to cut people out of your life. For example, just to give you guys, all of you listening, this perspective, someone who in a relationship, let's say I have some friends who maybe let's say they are addicts of certain sorts, and I get influenced when I'm hanging around them, right? Now, a partner who tells me consciously these friends are not good for you, and I'm going to draw a boundary saying that I'm not going to spend time with you when you're spending like you're with them. That is someone drawing a boundary consciously and saying, I don't want to accept this. On the other end, when you have a narcissist, they will convince you that that person is somehow just not good for you, that their choices are not good for you, to the point where you are the one who cuts them out because they don't want to look bad, right? So they don't want to look bad and say, I don't want you to cut those friends. Like, I don't like those friends, cut them out. Instead, they'll slowly convince you that those friends are not good. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. And that's exactly what happened. There was all these reasons just over time of
Okay.
why they weren't good friends living like the way that we had chosen to live, that they weren't living their life to the fullest or doing all these activities. So
Right.
they
Hey, and welcome to the Inner Yats YouTube page. If you like our content, make sure you click the like and the subscribe button so that you get more of these amazing videos that keep coming your way.